Hello, this is my presentation for Who Am I? My name is Irma Rose Whalen. I'm 61. I'm female. I have a 24-year-old son, and I'm going to start my project. So, the first thing, I'm going to talk about a few quotes that are meaningful to me. One of them is by Dr. Daniel Amen. He's a neuropsychiatrist, and he says the following. Don't believe everything you hear, even in your mind. At 18, you worry about what everyone thinks of you. At 40, you don't care. At 60, you realize no one was even thinking about you anyway. I live by this quote because I find it spot on the money. No one is thinking about you. Live your life unencumbered. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. This is your only life. Live it as you see fit. Who cares what anyone thinks? What you think is what matters. Here's another quote. It's by Cher. She's an actress and entertainer. She's probably about 72 now. So this is what she says. This is your one and only life, and it will go faster than you think. Find passion. It might be work, art, travel, or music. It doesn't matter what it is, but passion will save you from 50% of pain. Remember, this is not a dress rehearsal, and don't sweat the small stuff. So I like this quote because this isn't a dress rehearsal. This is my real life. And you must give it your all and live it to your best of your ability. Dream big or go home. You're the master of your destiny. You must go for it with gusto. Casey Kasem, I used to listen to him when I was a teenager. He would do the top 40 on the radio. And he would always end by saying, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for those stars. Okay, so to pick a song that I like that reflects what's going on with me now, I am choosing Love Me or Leave Me by Sammy Davis Jr. It was a popular song back in the 60s. And this is a song about a guy who loves a girl but wants love in return. He wants it to be reciprocal. Kind of reminds me of chapter 7 when talking about relationships, like a give and take. So he says he'd rather be lonely and left alone if she's not going to give it her all. So this song applies to all people in my life. I want people to love me as I love them. I don't want any emotional vampires just to suck the blood dry out of me and not give me anything in return. So as the song says, love me or leave me alone. I'm not a singer, but I'm going to try to sing the song. Here goes. Love me or leave me or let me be lonely. You won't believe me, but I love you only. I'd rather be lonely than happy with somebody else. You might find the nighttime the right time for kissing, but nighttime is my time for just reminiscing, regretting instead of forgetting somebody else. Now there may be no one unless that someone is you. I intend to be independently blue. I want your love, but I don't want to borrow. Have it today, give back tomorrow. More love for my love, it's your love or nobody else. Now, there be no one unless that someone is you. 'Cause I intend to be independently blue. Baby, I want your love, but I don't want to borrow. Have it today, give back tomorrow. It's your love for my love. There's no love for nobody else. So love me or leave me alone. So I like that concept because I think in my life now, I'm like, love me or leave me alone. Don't just be using me or just abusing me. Let's be in a positive, authentic relationship. That includes kids, friends, boyfriends, husbands, whomever. It applies to everybody. Alrighty, so now I need to show something that's representative of me. So I'm a mom and I adore my son, and I have to say that represents me a lot. So here's a picture when he was a toddler. I remember we went to San Diego Zoo and they drew him. My little sweetheart. And here's another picture that we took. Oh, shoot. When we went on a cruise to Alaska a couple years ago. So there's my son now all grown up and there's me. So that's a big part of my life. Now, I have hobbies. I love learning languages. So, I speak English and Spanish. I grew up speaking in my bilingual. I'm Mexican and Irish, so that was kind of automatic. But then later I went to France. I was there. I went to school for a year. I learned French. During the pandemic, I learned Italian and some Brazilian. I also tried to learn some Japanese, but that's a tougher language. I have 3 different alphabets. I have hiragana, katakana, kanji. So it takes a lot of more time and dedication. So I know a little bit, and one day one of my dreams would go to take a course in Japan for like 6 months and like learn it to a conversational level. This this past summer I went to Italy, which I was excited. I got a scholarship to a language school and I got to speak a lot of Italian. Okay, so a while back I made this little plate at Color Me Mine, and it has the flags of the languages that I know or I'm hoping to learn. So here's Brazil. That's the Brazilian flag for Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Here's Italy for Italian. Here's the French flag for French. Mexico for Spanish. Japan for Japanese. And of course, the USA for English. So this is like the plate that I made. You can see I don't draw good, but it was the feeling that counted. Enthusiasm. All right. So now my questions, my 20 questions that I picked from the 60. Okay, number 1. My name is Irma Rose Whalen. I'm a 61-year-old female. I'm divorced and I have a 24-year-old son. I've been a registered nurse for almost 40 years. I am half Mexican and half Irish. I am back in school to become a psychiatric nurse practitioner at Azusa Pacific University. Interesting thing, when I came back to register for some classes at SHAFE a few years ago when I started this journey of going back to school, the college counselor said that I should be thinking about retiring and not returning to school. At the time, I was thinking of being a marriage and family therapist, and she pointed out 2 people that worked there that were unemployed. And she said that if I wanted to do something meaningful, that I could go volunteer at my church or find some other volunteer work that would be, meaningful for me. I was so stunned, I was speechless that a college counselor would be giving me that advice. And she was like about my age. That's the weird thing. I ignored her comments and forged on with my path. Okay, so question 2. What worries me about the future? My biggest worry about the future is my son. He has some struggles, and I suspect he may have some high-functioning autism, but he's never been diagnosed officially. He has been diagnosed with ADHD, attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, anxiety, and I do notice he has some OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. I want to help him forge a promising future so he can take care of himself when I pass away one day, which I hope that won't be till I'm like 96 years old, but you never know. Okay, what matters most in my life? First and foremost, the essential thing in my life is my health and my well-being, because without them, I would not be able to help my son, who matters the most in my life. He brings me so much love, affection, humor, and joy. He is the person I love the most in the world, and I will always want to be his loving support. The next question I chose was, have I done anything lately that's worth remembering? I kind of alluded to it earlier. Yes, I went to Italy for 5 weeks on a language scholarship. I stayed in Rome for a few days and showed all the beautiful treasures in the Vatican. Oh, and saw all the beautiful treasures in the Vatican. I saw the creation of Adam, that famous painting, which is probably the most famous fresco in the Sistine Chapel, and one of the most famous in modern art. It was created by Michelangelo around 1511, and it's located in the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel inside the Vatican Museums. My favorite part of my trip was my Italian class. It met Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 1. I learned so much, and the teacher was fabulous. There were about 17 students in my class, and everyone was excited to improve their Italian. The students were from around the world, and everyone spoke the common language, which was Italian. I also went to Florence to see the sculpture of David. Oh, and I got the sculpture. I got a little mini one. Oh yeah, I have a little mini sculpture of David that I got. I still haven't set it out. But like David and Goliath. Okay, oh my gosh. should have thought of this earlier. So here is the miniature David. I saw the one in person in Florence. They have one in the outside that's a replica, and then the real one is in the inside. Because when they decided to like move the real one in the inside because it was getting damaged after so many years, people were like, oh, it's not the same without David. So then they have the replica. And this is him. There's David. Oh, I also, oh my gosh. I also got something from Venice. So, oh, I love Venice. It's so beautiful and peaceful and magical. So I got a little souvenir, put on my wall for my trip. Oh, and then I got tons of Italian books too. Oh my gosh. I don't know if I should show those, but yes, I got like easy books to read. The life of Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, a couple of novels and some audiobooks, and then a couple of children's books because they're easier. And I got Pinocchio in Italian, the original language, which was awesome. Okay, so let me see. Where was I? Okay, so I also went to Florence to see the sculpture of David and to Venice to see St. Mark's Square. The school was in central Italy, a small medieval town called Recanati. Everyone was friendly and my roommates were adorable. They were all from Argentina. It was 5 women with 1 bathroom, and we actually did okay, you know. We kind of scheduled our showers, so some would do the evening, some in the morning, and we would be quick. Let's see. Okay, so my dorm was 5 minutes away from the school, which I liked a lot. Just kind of walk there and there you're at school. Let's see. Have I made someone smile today? Actually, my friend and I went to see 2 movies, Priscilla and Holdover. And because of school and work, I hardly go do anything, so that made her smile. Just the fact that we're going to, like, you know, hang out and check out a show. If I had to instill one piece of advice in a newborn baby, what advice would I give? I would tell the newborn baby to be yourself, not mold yourself into something else someone else wants. I would say cry, laugh, and get mad. It's okay to express your feelings. You're unique and special. Welcome to the world. What small act of kindness was once shown that I will never forget? Okay, so my friend's mom stayed up with my friend and I, posing as my patient until 2 a.m., which was very nice of her, and she didn't have to do that. That was just kindness from her heart, because I was really stressing. I had to practice on this video, and she was willing to stay up that late. I appreciated that and have showed her my appreciation, because that was really nice of her. That was a big act of kindness for me. She didn't think it was a big deal. She lost a couple hours sleep. She's retired, but for me it was. Okay, who has had the most significant impact on my life? Hands down, my grandmother, who raised me since I was 2. She loved me very much, but she was very strict with me. She taught me how to be brave, kind, loving, and to go for my dreams. She taught me the importance of education and how important it was to excel at school. She wanted me to be self-sufficient and to be able to take care of myself when she was no longer here. She instilled a love of travel and languages in me. She taught me Spanish, and we always spoke it to each other. She was full of life and had the most moxie of anyone I know. Next question. Does it matter what others think about me? It's none of their business. It's none of my business what other people think of me. The most important thing is what I think of myself. I am the one living with myself 24/7. The most important thing for me is to hold myself in high regard and be loving, nurturing, and compassionate towards myself and others. To what degree have I controlled the course of my life? I feel to a large degree I've controlled a large part of my life. I control what I wanted to do for a living. I wanted to be a nurse. My grandma was very much against it. It took her 6 years to talk me out of it. I decided when I was 12, and then finally when I was a senior in high school, she said, all right, go for it. But that wasn't something she wanted me to do. She said it was sad, depressing, and honestly, she said that in Mexico, nurses had bad reputations for sleeping with the doctors, and they were considered whores. But my grandma was born in 1917, and she was born in Mexico, so her perspective is a little bit different, but that's what she said to me. Okay, let's see. I control what I do for a living, what friends I choose to have, what family members I choose to be close to, how much money I have, how I budget it, how good my health is, if I'm nurturing my soul, what I weigh, how much and what I eat. I control how I take care of myself. I'm in control of my thoughts. I am not in control of everything. And I just let go of those things because there isn't anything I can do about them. Okay, next question. If I could talk to my teenage self, the one thing I would say is, I would tell my teenage self that pimples and boys don't matter. Just worry about school. I would tell her to be kind and compassionate with herself, and that ahead of her were wonderful experiences and people to meet. It's hard for everyone to be a teenager. This is just a phase of life. It won't be your whole life. I remember being a teenager and I went to the library and I got this book saying, if these are the best years of my life, why am I so miserable? 16, not knowing a lot. So that's what I would tell my teenage self. The next question. The 2 moments I'll never forget in my life are, and describe them in detail, and what makes them unforgettable. Okay, I will never forget 2 moments. When my son was born, and when I got the acceptance letter to go to school at La Sorbonne in Paris for 1 year in the abroad program. Okay, so after 1 month of bed rest and 9 hours of labor, the moment I first saw my son was so magical that I cried. I literally just cried. I was so happy. I thought he was beautiful and perfect and instantly bonded with him. It was incredible. I had a natural childbirth, so I was completely present for this moment. This moment in time automatically made me a mother, like that, from one moment to the next. Now I'm a mom. I remember the first time someone called me and they asked to talk to Andy's mom, and I was like, oh, that's me. It was incredible. At almost 37, I was over the moon happy. This was the most magnificent moment of my life. I really planned this pregnancy, prepared myself. I had a preconceptual physical. We went to preconception classes. I did Lamaze. I did childbirth, the Bradley method. I had a birth plan in my chart, how everything would go. It was just amazing. I tried to breastfeed him the first hour. It didn't work, but I tried. And then my husband did the first bath. He helped deliver the baby, cut the cord. We have pictures. Oh, I should share those pictures. Okay, well, now my other moment. Oh shoot, I lost my place. Okay, so my other moment was I got accepted to go to school in France. I was very excited about that. I prepared a lot. I guess I'm a planner in certain ways. I was taking an extension class at UCLA. I was taking a class at East LA in the evening, and I was taking classes at Cal State LA during the day. And I was watching this program on TV called French in Action on PBS, the Learning Channel. So I was just doing everything. I would be in the bath and I would be listening to tapes. In the morning when I would set up at the clinic before people came, I would be listening, driving, listening, because I wanted to get there and be able to speak. I knew I was going to improve a lot by living there a year, but I felt that if I already had some knowledge, I could just really catapult to being fluent. Now it's my goal. So that was my second most exhilarating moment. When I got the letter and I opened it, I was very, very excited. So I said I was going to go to school in Paris, learn French, meet live French people, and see the sights. It was a dream come true and the adventure of a lifetime. Okay, next question. Write about a moment experienced through your body. Making love, making breakfast, going to a party, fighting, an experience you've had or imagined for your character. Live out that emotion conveyed through the body and senses. Okay, so I have to say I love to dance, and I feel like that's something I go in the zone and I dance and I move my body. It's exercise. I'm not a big exercise person, but I love to dance. So in my 20s, we had an all-girls trip. We went to Club Med in Cancun, and we left our boyfriends behind. It was just us girls. It was a wonderful trip. And I remember that every night they'd have the DJ and we would just dance, all 5 of us. We would just dance our heart out for a few hours and we'd say it's our workout. And I could just just feel the music go through me and just really get into it and sing the lyrics, and like nothing else existed. I was just in the zone, and I really loved that experience. So that's something that I feel through my body and I really enjoy. Okay, next one. I couldn't imagine living without. I could not imagine living without my son. If something ever were to happen to him, it would be painful, bleak, and horrid. I would feel empty and devastated and would be a mere shadow of myself. That doesn't happen. Okay, next one. When in pain, physical or emotional, the kindest thing I can do for myself is... Okay, the kindest thing I can do for myself is take a warm bath. No lights, just the candles. I pour 2 cups of baking soda, 2 cups of Epsom salt, and some lavender oil. That's like called a detox bath. Like it just kind of cleanses you out. It makes you very relaxed, have a good night's sleep. And I just love that. That helps a lot. Like if I'm stressed or in physical or emotional pain, it just kind of alleviates it a little bit and I feel better, refreshed. And I can just kind of shut off the world. I don't know if you remember, there was an old commercial a long time ago would say, Calgon, take me away. And it's a lady in the commercial taking a bubble bath. And supposedly like she's away somewhere, but she's taking a bubble bath. Alrighty, so what do you love about life? My next question. I love that I'm healthy. I have a great job. I have a wonderful son. I have great friends for support and love. And I have so many things to look forward to, like graduating from school, getting out of debt, saving for retirement, traveling and going to other language schools. Next question. What always brings tears to your eyes? And I love how you said about Pablo Coelho has said, tears are words that need to be written. Okay, so I don't know, but when I watch a movie that I really like, usually it's a drama, it's a story, I get so involved. I'm right there in the characters and I kind of cry easy. So I said, I love to watch dramatic movies with a good storyline. I cry when the characters in the movie are going through hard times and suffering. Like I'm right there crying like it's happening to me. I guess because I get really involved. But it has to be a good movie and I'm really feeling the characters. Write about a time when your work felt real, necessary, or satisfying to you, whether the work was paid, unpaid, professional, domestic, physical, or mental. Okay, I remember working as a nurse in postpartum, and I had to go work in the nursery because they were short-staffed. And I remember thinking how wonderful it was to bathe and assess these little newborn babies. And I liked it so much I would have done it for free. It was a long time ago. I was like, I don't know, maybe 22. That was really, I just enjoyed it. I also volunteered for 3 years when I was in high school as a candy striper. And I remember one time they called me in the evening to go because there was a 6-year-old little girl who had gotten dragged by a car, and she had burns all over her, and she only spoke Spanish. So they called me in so I could just kind of hang out and read to her. And that was something I always remember. It was very meaningful, and I was really grateful that I spoke her language and I can bring her some comfort. So that was something that meant a lot. Okay, write the words you need to hear. Okay, these are the words I need to hear. I'm enough. I got this. This too shall pass when I hit rough waters. I'm a beautiful person inside and out. God loves me, and the best is yet to come. Okay, what do I need to change about myself? Next question. Oh, I need to change my trait of procrastination. That's like the worst thing about me. Ugh. It brings me a lot of stress and wastes my physical and mental energy. That goes for work, school, organizing my house, and taking care of my personal stuff. It bleeds into every area of my life. I first noticed it in junior high. I have tried to improve and get an earlier start on things, and sometimes I do succeed, but more times than not, I slip into those same old patterns. When I succeed, it's like I put in a Herculean effort. I have bought books on programs on it, but they don't seem to work. The only thing that really works, and this sounds kind of corny, but you know Nike has that famous slogan, just do it? It's so simple, but it works. Just do it. All right, so that's the end of Who Am I? I hope you kind of get a little bit of a sense of who I am. And thank you for this opportunity. Bye.